Everyone wants to take their business, their skills, to the next level. Small and mid-sized business owners have exceptional insight into how to do this. They endure and thrive because they find ways to overcome the challenges that come their way, and they can teach us valuable lessons to apply to our own companies and lives. Stephen Nooner, founder and owner of Alkali, a company with a unique process that helps businesses more effectively buy and manage their insurance programs. And Bob Gibbons, builder of Riata Commercial Realty, a real estate advisor and tenant advocate, are two prominent Metroplex businessmen who, along with their weekly guests, will ask their and your probing questions, finding impactful solutions that will help you reach for the next level. Here are your hosts, Stephen Nooner and Bob Gibbons.
Welcome to the Next Level, Conversations that Propel Business. I'm your host, Stephen Nooner.
And I'm your other host, Bob Gibbons, the better looking host, I've been told.
That's what Jan says.
Exactly. She's the only one. Hey, we're here today with a really different show than we've done before, and I'm excited about it. One, because this is our first show with a company that is truly a startup. They're really just getting going, and so that's kind of exciting. The second reason is because one of the partners is my son, Carson Gibbons.
Poor guy.
Well, somebody had to do it.
Hope it goes a lot better for him than you on the show.
If you could just pick your parents, life would be better, right? Anyway,
you did pretty well.
Carson Gibbons and Tony Spiro are our guests today. They are the founders of Cosmic JS, and Cosmic JS is a powerful content platform that makes it easy to transform your content into a beautifully simple API which can be used in any website or internet-connected application. And if you want to learn more about them, you can go to cosmicjs.com.
And you can read that content there?
You can read that exact content.
It's because Bob has no idea what his son does for a living.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
We like, as Bob said, we like to start off with other people's wisdom of others. And so I brought a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, and he said, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail."
And why'd you pick that one?
Because my best understanding after researching what you guys do, it's sort of what you guys are doing right now with your technology.
Creating a new path and leaving crumbs for people to follow.
Yeah, either that or it was going to be the other quote which I had, which was, "How much would the client pay to not have to do it themselves?"
Oh,
That's a great quote. Who's that by?
That's Bob Gibbons.
That's eternal
said
wisdom
to his
right
son
there.
Carson Gibbons when he was mowing lawns.
Yes.
At 12 years
I
old.
took that from another show.
yeah, and I also said that to my daughter when she was doing a pet sitting and pet pooper picker-upper service.
The poo police?
The poop police. Charge what people are willing to pay you to do it so they don't have to do it themselves. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, guys, so one thing I always like to ask is, tell us something about yourself, Tony, that most people don't know.
Sure. So I'm from Los Angeles, California.
I'm sorry.
And I came to Texas as fast as I could.
Welcome.
I saw all the
Yes.
bumper stickers when I got here. I wasn't born here, but I got here as fast as I could. So I moved here when I was 17, and I got a scholarship for music to go to the University of North Texas Music School.
Nice.
Yeah, so go Mean Green, go
Yeah,
Screaming
go.
Eagles.
Got to represent.
I've got two alums here. That's one of my passions in life is music, and so I started off playing drums, and I've been playing drums since I was 10 years old. I still play, but not professionally anymore. Now I code and build applications and found startups. So that's kind of something I don't think people really know when I'm involved in building applications, is that I also enjoy playing music, and I've been playing music ever since I was a kid.
Very nice. And a similar question for Carson. Tell us something that you've never told your father you've done.
Well, I'm going to plead the fifth on this one.
Keep it G-rated.
Yeah. No, the latest evolution for me has been coming to the understanding of using my actual strengths to go into more of the startup market and stopping working for other people and making them rich and following their dreams, but actually doing something that I have, skin in the game with and following that path. Because if you told me 5 years ago that I'd be a co-owner in a tech firm, I would have told you that you were joking with me. Just didn't seem like something that was at my proficiency level. But in the last 5 years, having met Tony and worked with several creative and digital agencies and kind of seeing some of those pain points together, it made an awesome foray into this market, which, as you said, is kind of an emerging space that is gaining credibility as we go, and it's really exciting to see the future.
So let's talk about your business in English, because we have an audience of business owners and not necessarily all technical people. What do you guys do? What problem are you trying to solve?
So the problem is we live in an age where we have all of these disparate technological landing places, right? You have your iPad, you have your phone, you have your website, and you really want to be able to syndicate your content effectively. And currently, we are living in an age where there's a lot of installed content solutions out there that don't scale well to those different areas. And Cosmic.js offers the ability for either a digital owner, content editor, or developer to sync all of their content into one central location, really just saving them a lot of time and development efforts. So
I'm Chick-fil-A, and I've got all these different mediums that I communicate through. So saving time, but what I'm trying to keep consistency in message, and instead of having to go and update my app, my website, this is a single, I do it once and it updates everywhere?
That's exactly right. It syndicates your content effectively. So let's say the Chick-fil-A logo needs to change next week. Well, if they're using Cosmic.js, all they would have to do is change out the logo in their CMS, and it can change out to all their different digital properties rather than having to go through each code base and change it out.
Or a coupon or something like that, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I got to figure certain retail type companies are always changing these things
So
out.
does this also set it up to where it automatically will be seen properly in each of those mediums? So like whenever I built my website, I had to go back and pay my guy extra to make it, quote, mobile friendly.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And I think there was the Google scare last year was we're shutting down everybody's the Google crawler will not search your crappy mobile site. It has to be updated and it has to be responsive. Yeah, exactly. So everybody freaked out. I think Carson and I, we were actually working together when that happened, and we were just like, well, yeah, we've been building responsive websites for a long time, and now it's like they're cracking down on it. But it definitely allows the developer to make those websites responsive and make it so that it's a more flexible type of development environment. Absolutely. I think the number one takeaway from the description that you read earlier is that it makes it a beautifully simple API. So we're living in an age of you have your all of your devices are hooked up to APIs. It's all kind of unseen.
And what does that stand for, by the way?
Application Protocol Interface.
Okay.
So it's a way for data to be delivered effectively to any application or website that connects to it. So if you start from an API, then you've already basically set yourself up for success. And now that you have your API, then you can build out all of the applications around that.
Now, you guys worked together in the past. You both come from an advertising background to some extent. Carson, I know whenever you were telling me about this earlier, you had an experience where you were saying why this particular system is so much better than the way things have been done in the past. Give me a little bit of understanding of how you came to that through your advertising background.
Sure, and we actually just updated the Cosmic.js blog with kind of the brand manager perspective on all of this, because that was the role that I was playing at the old agency that Tony and I worked at. Tony was obviously our main back-end developer and engineer, and I was the brand manager in charge of those different projects. And from like an infrastructure and cost perspective, this system eliminates a lot of the locally installed hardware and software that you would normally have to go through to publish content to the web. So it already was affecting my bottom line. But the other nice thing was that it basically it gives Tony the ability, or whoever developer is using this system, it gives them the tools that they need to operate in their siloed environment. But then that same bucket of content can also be managed by a brand manager who has very, low levels of understanding as to what is going on, to the extent that even the difference between updating content within the Cosmic.js system versus a WordPress, which most people would think of as your bread and butter content management solution.
Right.
The WordPress it's still very it's not very streamlined in terms of content editing and updating content. You still see a lot of the developer tools in the system. To spin up a new page, you need developer input and different things like that. And what Cosmic.js has really done is it's equipped the developer, but also put the content editors first as well. They both get first place, and they both get to play to their best strengths.
So you're cutting out some of the other peripheral stuff, I don't even know what to call it, that you have to deal with. This streamlines it into one entity.
Absolutely. And I think it kind of speaks to both of our backgrounds. Working together, I was building out the CMS, and I was handing it over to Carson to double check and make sure everything was user friendly. So we kind of developed a real kind of developer and content editor sense of empathy, where I wanted to make something, as no offense, as dumb as possible and easy to manage. We appreciate it.
How could that be taken?
I say it every day. What do I need to dumb down for my co-host here?
Exactly.
But to what Carson said, it's something that in a digital agency or in a client and developer relationship, you want to have that sense that the developer is handing the keys over to the editor and giving them the ability to really just intuitively know how to edit their content. And I think we've achieved that. And I think that's kind of what makes this partnership and Cosmic.js really speak to those needs is the fact that it's coming from a developer and a content editor relationship.
So then who's your target market? Who's your client then? The end user? Who makes that decision? Are you going to agencies? You going straight to...
Sure. I think the client base is pretty wide. If you consider like who is building websites and who is editing content, that's a lot of people.
Sure.
Right. So
all over the world.
Right. Exactly.
India, everywhere. I mean, yeah.
Especially
right.
India.
So initially, our target customer is going to be an agency where they have the problem that we're aiming to solve.
Mm-hmm. So the problem you're aiming to solve, and then obviously they have to be doing a scale where there's some significant cost. Right.
Absolutely, yeah. So where they see the value in the development time saved, as well as the ease of use and the intuitive back end.
So just one single update, just from a perspective, how if they had 5 different things that they're on, how much time are you talking savings by using your solution?
Oh, sure. Like just in not having to configure or install a WordPress solution alone, you're saving hours of development time, like right off the bat. So that's, and then not only that, but you're also saving time and development time just working with a streamlined API.
So this could seriously increase the profit margin for an agency.
Absolutely. So the ROI is just, I mean, it's really limitless as far as what you can see as far as, okay, if you have multiple properties you need to build out and you're considering WordPress for each one of those properties, I mean, it's going to save you, hundreds of hours of development time.
We went back through some of our old projects that we were doing from an interactive standpoint at our old agency and realized that we would have protected our margin by about 50% more on certain engagements.
Okay.
And just dealing with fewer logins and more ease of use and setting permissions on people that can actually go in and perform certain tasks. So it's basically to the extent that within 3 clicks, you're published on the web.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to go to a break, but when we come back, Tony is going to discuss starting a business and growing a family at the same time. And Carson is going to discuss who wears the pants, mom or dad.
No, he's not.
And now, Confessions of a Recovering Landlord.
This is Bob Gibbons with Riata Commercial Realty, and I am your recovering landlord. After 20 years as a landlord, I now use that experience only for the benefit of companies that lease or buy office buildings and warehouses. Today's confession: knowledge is power. We all negotiate from a position of power and strength, or at least we want to. In any negotiation, the party with the most knowledge probably has the upper hand. And landlords count on this being the case whenever you're negotiating a lease, because most landlords are professional real estate investors and they hire professional leasing agents and property managers. Landlords are in the market every day negotiating leases, while tenants probably only negotiate 1, maybe 2 leases every few years. So tenants feel outgunned. Don't let landlords have all the power. As a former landlord for 20 years, I understand how landlords think and what motivates them. So let me put that knowledge and experience to work on your side of the negotiation. To learn more, contact me at TexasTenantRep.com. Again, that's TexasTenantRep.com.
Have you started making plans to take your business to the next level in 2016? Hi, I'm Stephen Nooner, founder and CEO of Alkali. We have a trademark process called the Empowered Advantage that enables CEOs, business owners, and entrepreneurs to more effectively buy and manage their insurance. Before sitting down to make your plans for the new year, here are just a few things to consider. Would you say that you have an actual insurance strategy, one that you can articulate, or have you just purchased a policy here and there over the years? If you have an insurance strategy, was it discussed under the pressure of a renewal deadline or considered earlier in the year to avoid fire drill decision making? If your answer was no to either of these questions, then you may not have the right partner on your team. Visit alkaliservices.com to contact us and take the next step to a bigger and better future.
My name is Melanie Queer-Murphy, and I'm the CEO of Signature Millwork. We hire only the very best craftsmen to produce the highest quality millwork for our customers. I sure wish the Next Level show would do the same for their guests.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Next Level. We're here with our special guests, Tony Spiro and Carson Gibbons, co-founders of CosmicJS.com.
You know, one of the things I wanted to get back to is at the top of your website, there's a little notice that says that you're in private beta. Can you talk about what that means and where it goes after you're not in that?
Sure. It's private, Bob.
They tell me, but then they have to kill me.
So that's basically a way to tell the users that some stuff might break at this point. But it's funny enough, we've got a lot of websites in production all over the world that people are using and on a daily basis. That it's been very stable for a while now. Really what the private beta sign is telling people is that they can sign up, but they're going to have to be granted access, and that's done manually in the back end. That's just a way for us to kind of make sure that we don't get a flood of traffic that will cause like a downtime on the server or anything like that. But luckily we've had some excellent uptime. It's been almost like 99% or so uptime, and just getting everybody into the system. It's been pretty easy to just convert them into the system, and we're looking to get out of the private beta here pretty soon and launch publicly.
So how many users would you have in a private beta status?
So we have currently 1,100 private beta users, and the goal of that is to just kind of get that feedback loop going with them and just kind of tell them, we're kind of building this out on a individual basis. So we do a lot of customer outreach. We talk to them. We say, hey, what do you like about the system? What do you think could be improved on the platform? And we take that and build it back into the product. And so that's kind of the private beta ethos is, you want to make it so that a few people really love it, and then you can scale it up from there. Because if a lot of people just kind of like it, then it's not going to scale.
That's really brilliant. I mean, that's great model to get the feedback in the loop. Are you going to involve them in pricing when you get to the next stage?
Absolutely. So we've had a few customers tell us they've run out of room in their free tier, and so they need to start paying for it. And that's actually when we decided to incorporate the company. And I reached out to Carson and said, hey, I've been thinking about this for some time, but you want to be a co-founder of a company with me? And it was kind of a great moment to say, well, we've gotten the product to a point to where it's now being demanded to be used more, and so now we can start paying or having folks pay for the service to expand on their content editing ability.
No, that's an interesting distinction, because you had a product, but you weren't incorporated yet. You weren't a company. So now you've brought in Carson. You're incorporated. What other things have you done now to make it a, quote, company?
I mean, aside from all the legal perspective of everything with actually incorporating it and setting up bank accounts and different things like that, it's been formalizing more of our internal processes for who's going to handle what. I mean, when Tony first asked me to kind of come on board and help spearhead this, I remember he specifically told me, I have not written job descriptions for either of us because we've overlapped in the past. We've worked in the same environments, doing the same types of projects in the past. Here's the solution to those pain points. I want us to basically coordinate our spearheading of the attack of the market, if you will. So it was definitely music to my ears when, I was leaving my agency and a pre-existing friend and colleague comes to me with a pre-existing platform and client base, and they're grappling to start paying for use of the platform because they want to further utilize it. And that's been the most amazing part about the private beta feedback loop, is working with these agencies, working with these development shops, because yes, they are providing input on pricing and whatnot, because as we are exiting private beta, we're wondering what would make this tool so effective and useful for you that you would pay X amount per month as a subscription model. And a lot of agencies and clients that Tony has cultivated a really great relationship with, they've gone a step further and they're providing creative direction and UI UX input. So we have a lot of private beta users that we've kind of siloed as our power users, if you will. And they'll get on the phone. Tony will get on the phone with their director of development. I'll get on the phone with the brand managers and the business owner, talk about the profitability, respecting the margins, while Tony's actually making the tool more intuitive from the inception.
So beta doesn't necessarily mean no revenue.
No.
Okay.
And it's funny you bring that up about the customer feedback. Really, the goal is to create the dream CMS, the dream platform for all of these developers and content editors out there. And so by just really listening and creating a better product for them, it saves them time and money. They don't have to have a developer in-house rework a WordPress system. Instead, they contact us and say, hey, we kind of would like to have this other feature baked in. What does that look like? And we said, sure, let's do that. And it creates more value in the product, and it also helps them save time and money and managing content and building their applications.
So what's your goal? So you're in private, you're getting feedback, you're going to get feedback on pricing. But you want to have, obviously a model that can be profitable and scalable and everything else. Are you guys trying to raise capital? Are you, what's the bigger picture play for this? Sure.
So we're working off of a SaaS model currently. So software as a service. We have a free tier. It's a freemium model. So you have your free tier, and you get up to a certain point where you require more usage. Right. You need more file storage, or you need more API requests. That's when you start to get into the other pricing tiers, and it's a pay-as-you-go type of model. And we've included a lot of great features that just make it really easy for users to just be a few clicks away from creating a great application that has an amazing platform for managing their content.
So is your purpose to then become the future WordPress of the space, or do you want to get it to a certain point and be strategically acquired? I'm sorry, I don't mean to ask questions about the begin with the end in mind, but
we're a private beta, Steve. Come on. But he's already talking about an exit strategy.
No, but when's the IPO?
Are y'all trying to? Do you want to hold down this space? There's companies out there, Zoho. They keep developing different products in this certain space, and they're just,
Sure.
There's a lot of different ways that people typically go into these things, I find.
Sure. So I think to answer your question, we are definitely looking to take over the space as far as making it easier for users to manage content, because like I said earlier, we're in an age where every property needs an API. Every digital company needs a really easy API to use. So agencies will need to use something that allows them some flexibility. So we want to, basically, if you think of WordPress as the horse, we want to take the horse out back, and we want to give them a car. Okay. But until you tell people they need a car, they don't know, they're using their horse, right? Sure. So that's kind of our main goal right now is communication. We need to communicate to these users, these customers, and reach out to these agencies and tell them there's a better way, and let us show you, how you can really improve your bottom line and using something that's a flexible system.
So as you move from private beta to public data, is that just beta? Sorry, does that just mean a lot more people in that beta status, or is there something more from going private to public?
I mean, I think it means that you've been vetted from a private beta standpoint. It means that you wouldn't have to have our authorization in the back end to utilize the system, upgrade your buckets so that you can post more content to more disparate properties, etc. But the whole feedback loop system that we have right now, again, it's not to say that anything is wrong or, erroneous with the platform. It's just that the platform is what it is at the moment. And we're taking all of that feedback and adding it in as features so that we can tier out these different programs and plans based on the personas of the people that are utilizing the platform.
So as you go public, it becomes more automated, I would assume, for the user.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you.
So what are your marketing efforts right now? I mean, you're focusing on advertising and digital marketing agencies primarily? I mean, people that are going to have 100 clients, or is that kind of the model?
Sure. I think that's a part of the model. I think both of our strengths kind of dictate where we both want to focus. I know Carson, he's very tuned in with the digital agencies locally, and also in contact with our power users using Cosmic.js currently. So he can speak to those business owners and tell them, this is why you need to use the platform. Mm-hmm. My background as a developer, I can speak to the developers and I can say, this is why you need to use this platform. So we're burning the candles from both ends and we're showing them value just based on our strengths and our expertise and experience in the industry.
The advantage is that we're working from, Tony's working from this side and I'm working from this side, and we're going to meet in the middle, but he's equipped this platform so that folks like me, the brand managers, the content editors, our experience is so streamlined that we'll be talking it up to the developers and vice versa. Gotcha. The interesting part about marketing to the development community is that they'll sniff it out. Like, you don't have to put out billboards and TV ads and different things like that.
Right.
And they actually don't like that. They want to find the
hidden gem.
Yeah.
Our biggest spike in analytics, whether it be on a social channel or our website, is when Tony is included on like a development blog, for instance, because any aggregated source of information for any type of programming language or, new tactic that's out there, they're going to sniff that out and figure out what's going on. And that's been the most amazing thing about kind of our foray into the customer outreach portion of everything, is that we've learned that people were Googling this before I even knew what it was. People have been searching out a more nimble cloud-based platform or tool to utilize for publishing content, as well as a developer tool. So Tony's kind of honing in on the developer tool portion, and then I'm spreading the good news to any kind of agency or development shop that manages brands, publishes content, etc.
So if I have a WordPress site for my company, do I need to go to my developer, my webmaster, whatever you call them, and say, hey, you're behind the times. There's this thing, Cosmic.js. You need to switch me over to that platform.
Absolutely. Yeah, you could do that now. No, I think what we're talking about here is we want office buy-in. When Slack kind of came onto the scene, I think those early adopters, in the office were like, what's this like crazy kid over here? And he's got his two screens and he's got one of them has like a chat on it or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then he starts telling the other people in the office that they need to use this. And so that's kind of how you create that buy-in, is you have that one early adopter and then you have like the buy-in from the top saying, we need to use this because it's going to help us in our bottom line. And so I think that's when you get everybody involved.
Gotcha.
Sounds exciting.
Well, I'm not the smartest guy, but I know what I don't know, and that is I don't really know how to, and it's not just that I don't know how to create a website. I don't want to. And I really don't even want to maintain it. I want somebody else to do that. So congratulations to you guys for figuring out a better way to build that mousetrap.
Yeah, congrats. And congrats on the family. We didn't get to the hook, but congrats on the family. And Carson, we'll get that answer off air.
Thank you.
No, we won't.
We'll save Bob's marriage.
Thanks for being with us. If you want to know more about Cosmic.js, please go to cosmicjs.com. If you want to learn more about the show, go to nextlevelshow.com or find us on social media.
If you know anybody that would benefit, because this is a time saver, definitely help spread the word. Maybe someone needs to tune into the show. Help get the word out. Have a great week.
See you next week.
Thanks all for having us.
Thanks.
You have been listening to The Next Level, Conversations That Propel Business with Stephen Nooner and Bob Gibbons. Join us every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. for more prolific conversations that will take your business to the next level.